It's been great. Actually, it's been exactly 2 years since we
Yeah.
inscribed, OCM OnChain Monkey
Yeah.
on Bitcoin, and yeah, we've been growing this art on Bitcoin ecosystem,
Yeah.
which is very new. So, what does it actually mean, to choose between blockchains because they're very different. Ethereum and Bitcoin are very different blockchains. Well, I mean, art finds its way everywhere, right?
Yeah.
If it's meaningful, then art will figure out a way.
What's the state of affairs right now?
I'd say it's still very much early days for this kind of Bitcoin ecosystem, 2.0 play. So even Ordinals, it's still very early.
How do you feel about the state of Bitcoin in 2025?
I think we're at this tipping point where there's going to be a lot of adoption of Bitcoin by institutions, by countries, and by individuals.
What up? What up? It's your boy Farokh. We're at the 106 with Ledger in Paris, and I'm joined by my friend Danny. Danny, how you doing today?
Hey, Farokh, doing great.
Welcome to Paris.
Yeah, thanks.
How you liking it here?
Oh, I just got in literally like an hour ago.
From where?
From Seattle.
Wow, long travel from Seattle.
Yeah, it was.
That's what, 10-hour flight, something like that.
Yep.
God damn, you must be tired.
Good. I'm energized for being in Paris. It's great.
Right? You
Yeah.
get here, you get the energy. What do you feel about the building? It's cool, right?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, first time here.
First time here.
Yeah.
I love that. So you guys have had a pretty busy cycle, huh? Looks like Bitcoin, at least at the top of the cycle, like beginning of the cycle, the narrative shift was around obviously Bitcoin heavily, but also around the Bitcoin ecosystem, such as Bitcoin Ordinals, Runes, etc. And here we are, fast forward what? Year and some change later. How's that been? How has it been for you?
It's been great. Actually, it's been exactly 2 years since we
Yeah.
inscribed OCM OnChainMonkey
Yeah.
on Bitcoin, and yeah, we've been growing this art on Bitcoin ecosystem,
Yeah.
which is very new, very new. So people are just wrapping their heads around like, what does it mean to make art on Bitcoin?
So what does it mean to make art on Bitcoin?
That's actually a great question. And tonight, we're co-sponsors. Like OnChain Monkey is co-sponsors with Art Blocks and Ledger
course.
to do this really nice event. And Art Blocks kind of showed what it means to do art on blockchains in the first place,
Yeah.
right? And now it's like, well, you have Ethereum, and you can also do it on Bitcoin. So what does it actually mean, to choose between blockchains? Because they're very different. Ethereum and Bitcoin are very different
course.
blockchains. So actually that's a
What's the main differentiator?
well, Ethereum is a smart contract chain.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin is a very limited scripting language chain, but it's one that's designed to be very secure, basically for hard money, right?
Of course.
Yeah, and it's the oldest and highest market cap, blockchain.
Of course.
And
The king.
That's right. But you couldn't really do art on it,
No, it's impossible.
and now you can. So that's kind of the thing that people are wrapping their heads around. Like, should you do art on a chain like Bitcoin, or shouldn't you? It's kind of
You
still
should, right?
controversial. Well,
Well, like I know it's controversial,
yeah.
but you should, right?
Well, I mean, art finds its way everywhere, right? If it's meaningful, then art will figure out a way.
So what are some of your favorite things you've seen recently out of the Bitcoin eco? I mean, early on we saw Bitcoin, the runes and the ordinals come out, but I kind of want to do a refresher after 2 years. Like, what's the state of affairs right now?
I'd say it's still very much early days for this kind of Bitcoin ecosystem, 2.0 play. So even Ordinals, it's still very early.
Very.
Yep. And like people are still, even people within the Ordinal system that have been around for the last 2 years, they're still arguing over what are Ordinals good for? What are Ordinals?
Yeah.
What's on chain? So it's still.
I'm seeing a lot of chatter about it. How do you feel about how the runes are doing right now? Like I've seen, it was good. And I mean, I'm still invested in some runes and some, ordinals as well. I'm a big believer in the whole ecosystem, but it seems like they've lost a bit of steam, or quite a lot of steam, and obviously people like to pile in on them naturally.
Yes.
How do you feel
yes.
about the state of affairs for runes right now?
Yeah, runes has been so crypto overall. The crypto market is about kind of hype, and meme coins are a big part of this narrative or speculation. And then meme coins are kind of the ultimate speculation tool in crypto, I would say. And Dogecoin kind of showed how a meme coin can be very valuable. And then you've had all these different meme coin, or I mean, the last year it was hard to miss the meme coin cycle, right?
Yeah.
So runes was part of that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I think that'll keep playing out this meme coin.
Yeah.
But Ordinals and art on Bitcoin, there's different. Like some art are memes, and you could say art has mimetic qualities, but
Yeah.
there's more to art than just a pure meme coin, which anyone can make a meme coin. It takes like 3 seconds
Mhm.
to launch a meme coin, right? So there's different aspects.
Yeah, the barrier to entry, let's say, on
Yes.
Bitcoin is much different. I mean, Bitcoin's getting a lot of traction. I mean, you're quite an OG when it comes to Bitcoin. You're very respected within the community. Like, there's been a lot of easing in terms of laws in the United States, obviously led by the Trump administration right now.
And
Like,
Michael Saylor.
right, Michael Saylor, that's continuously buying, and I think he's a good influence.
Well, he's the face of
He's the
Bitcoin,
face
right?
of Bitcoin, right? So how do you feel about the state of Bitcoin in 2025?
I think we're at this tipping point where there's going to be a lot of adoption of Bitcoin by institutions, by countries, and by individuals.
And do you think like this proliferation at this stage it's going to be a snowball effect? It's going to keep going, or like does it need that extra push? Because before you needed the Sailor, you really needed but now we have ETFs, you have universities bidding Bitcoin literally, and now states want to adopt a Bitcoin strategic reserve. How do you feel about all that?
Yeah, I think when a big country does that, then it's gonna, it'll be other countries have to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so let's go back to Ordinals. Now, of course, what you're here for. You guys are sponsoring, Ledger with OnChainMonkey. Obviously, OnChainMonkey was originally, correct me if I'm wrong, an Ethereum project, which you then, were some of the first people to adopt the Ordinals. I mean, you literally helped create.
Yeah,
Created.
it was a process. The Ordinals protocol
Right.
was launched in a very, I guess, the Ordinals protocol developed over basically the last 2 years,
Right.
and
And you were pretty influential in that process.
Yeah.
And so how's your project doing? Like what excites you about OnChainMonkey now? What's coming up?
Yeah, well, we're excited by art on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So we've been also helping artists launch on
Really?
So in fact, in NFT Paris last year, Alexei Andre was one of the speakers.
That's cool.
And I think that was the only panel on Ordinals last year, right? A year
I
ago.
think so.
And a few months after that panel, we helped him launch his first Ordinal collection called Frontline. And so now we're helping more artists launch on Bitcoin.
So you guys have really become this launchpad over at OnChainMonkey for art.
We're helping artists. So one of the differentiators, we're talking about like what's into ETH and Bitcoin. ETH took many years before it became much easier for artists to launch on Ethereum. So artists now can, for example, the art blocks, infrastructure they built up makes it, very, there's a process for artists to launch on Ethereum. That process on Bitcoin is much, much harder. So the barrier to entry is very high. And so we're trying to lower that and help people see, artists see, you can do great art on Bitcoin, and then you have these nice properties with Bitcoin.
I love that. This is really cool. Do you want to maybe like name some cool things that on OnChainMonkey specific, people listening, you guys have coming up or anything for your community?
Let's see. Well, we also, so OnChainMonkey, we have two collections on Bitcoin. One is OCM Genesis. That's the original 10K collection. And then there's the Dimensions, which is a 300. It's a very, limited supply collection that highlights how to do this like basically how you can use, P5.js or 3.js to do recursion and do generative art on Bitcoin. And so we've been helping artists, do that type of art on Bitcoin, which is really a nice type of art you can do on Bitcoin because of these properties of ordinals. And the next collection like OCM is going to be launching is OCM Katoshi, which is this kind of hand-painted art that looks like the original, like a reimagination of original, OCM Genesis monkeys. So that's what's coming up.
All right, that's exciting. When could we expect that?
We're still working on it, so we don't have the exact.
I'm trying to push the alpha here for the people listening, you know what I mean? And then lastly, I mean, we're in Paris. You want to tell us a little more about what's going on tonight? Because I heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, well, tonight, Ledger is, hosting this great event that we're helping out with. So yeah, we'll have the monkey bar where you can.
Oh yeah. So you talked to me about this monkey bar. I heard. So what's that about? Just like hang on.
No drinks. I mean,
drinks. The monkey bar.
Yeah.
I go, my bad. We're gonna have to cut that.
But we have nice gallery. Basically, I think that I haven't seen it yet because
I haven't either. I didn't get upstairs yet.
Yeah. But I think the setup is really nice. There's art blocks and there's OnChainMonkey. So art blocks is showing the really nice generative art.
Course.
and then we're showing the kind of what's possible on Bitcoin.
Okay.
On Bitcoin.
I love that. Well, Danny, thank you so much. Appreciate you. For those of you listening, check out Danny Hoop. Check out OnChain Monkey and what they're doing on Bitcoin. And with that, it's Farokh, Rug Radio, Ledger 106. Peace out.